Okay, so here we go. So let's back out of here. So in our session today, I am going to go over with you the presentation that we sent to the landlords, the management agreement that we use with the landlords, and then the monthly reporting statement that we get to the landlord. The I try to do it on the first and get it out by the 10th of every month. So those are the three things that we're going to try to accomplish on our call today. And then, Lord willing, we can do some bonus stuff with that gentleman that I told you about. Wants to hear more about the co-listing opportunity. Okay, so recap from yesterday, Cornell. What was your takeaway?
Takeaway was pretty good. I know we left off towards the end of the presentation and stuff like that. But it was simply just a plug and play. I like the presentation too. Just plugging in information, the different links that we went over. And it actually was good. Just need to I probably just need the B&B IQ website. I guess it's just bnbiq.com.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, that's it. But
Okay.
I know about this landlord that you were talking about, that we were talking about last night. I'm still in conversation with him about it, but see if he wants to do this model, and if not, that's fine. Just just gonna move on.
Well, no, that's cool. So hopefully on the back side of this, we can actually get that gentleman on the phone so that you can kind of hear, what it is I'm trying to get him to say and what things that I know are deal breakers in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, I'll
So
be glad to listen to that.
yeah, okay, cool. All right, so let's get this out of the way. Let's first of all talk about how that person came to me. So I am a part of the so if I were to Google real estate investor meetup groups in Rochester, New York. So what you're gonna see, you're gonna see some sponsor stuff. You don't really care about that. But what you'll find is there'll be some stuff on Facebook. There'll be some. Oh, okay. It's always fun because you never know necessarily what's going to be. I thought I was going to see our freer group, and I don't actually see it. But as it was saying, oh, okay, here it is. This is the meetup group in Rochester, FREA, which is Freedom First Real Estate Association Ltd. So that's where this lead is coming from for me. So there is one in every city because there's real estate investors in every city. So let's go back and give me your city that you're closest to for now.
Let's see, the city that I'm closest to. Let's do Frederick.
Frederick. MD.
Okay.
Bam. Frederick pictures of properties RE. Okay. And 588 members organized. Okay. This is a fun but serious group that exists to bring like-minded real estate investors together to learn and network. So, yep. This is so the next group meeting is going to be August the 20th. September 17th. So it looks like they have a monthly get together. And to join this group, let's see how much it's going to cost. Don't want to do that. All right, here's what I will do. because I don't want to lose so much time. I will send you this link. I'll put that in the email forward. Equitable, there it is. So this is a sample email that I sent out to prospective landlords. Hi, Sean, following up our meeting. Here's the documents we reviewed on Saturday. I apologize for the mistake during the conservation. I mentioned that our percentage was 15%. You will see that it's actually 30%. Sorry for the confusion. You and I talked about that. Anytime you furnish a place, your percentage needs to be higher. If they already have it furnished for you, you can have a lower percentage. All right. So this is the meet up link in your area. I was just telling OC about this as well. He needs to be a part of this in his area.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so sweet. So let's go through, let me send this to you, and let's go through the slide deck one more time so you know exactly what it is that you are working with. All right. So you have the link for the slide deck that we talked about yesterday, right?
Yeah, I got that. Yep,
And you have the all right. So I'm not circling back to that, but I am gonna highlight for our call today one that I've already done, and I'm gonna highlight, what it is and why it is, what's important and what's not so important. Hopefully, it'll be a nice review from yesterday. Okay. So open this up. Okay. And you remember the first 2 pages is just credibility. All right. You'll put your information into ChatGPT, come up with something that kind of flows and go with it. Don't waste too much time with it though, right? All right. Next 2 pages, credibility. What we offer, what we offer, what we offer, what we offer, what we offer. The next page is how things are performing in your area. So the B&B IQ report, okay, what it is, and I pay $100 a month to use it. If I don't use it, it's $100. If I use it, I can run up to 7 reports a month. I could get a premium package if I was really, trying to run a ton of reports. But, honestly, until I leave my W-2, I'm not necessarily, going into, 100 miles an hour. 60 is a nice speed for me, but I can shift gears and get a higher package if I want. But what it is in the report that you want to leverage is where it says similar properties in your area. It tells you the percent of occupancy, the ADR. Remember we said what the ADR was?
Yep, ADR. So average I forgot what it was, what the AI said. Average daily rate.
You got an average daily rate. So it's basically the amount you make per month divided by the number of days in the month. All right. Booking revenue, okay, and revenue potential. Now, I don't really know the difference between those two. Maybe later I'll throw it in the ChatGPT and we'll figure it out. But so what you're doing is you're pulling all of this information over to your presentation. And you're just simply copying and pasting using this link. This link that you have is the same link that you're putting over here. So your people can click this link. All right. And this means that someone has killed this listing at some point because it's no longer there. All right. Well, it is what it is. But at the time, this was the numbers. This property was like 2 minutes away from the subject property. And this is what the reviews look like, 17 reviews. All right. This guy was not that far from the subject property. This person had several reviews too. 58% occupancy, 79% occupancy, 33% occupancy. Okay. So let me stop right there. Do you have any questions about like the whole purpose of those slides?
No, the purpose of those slides are basically show like, some reviews or case studies of the property, um, the where the property is on a map, just to give them a visual, and how the other ones are performing in the area. So
Yeah.
it's to show that we can do it too.
Yeah. So yeah, you said it. That's the biggest thing. The biggest takeaway is this. Hey, whether we do this or not, other people are already doing it and making money. So this is like, this is not a matter of if it works. It's already doing it. It's already working. Do we want to collaborate is the only question. So yeah, so that's the biggest thing. And you got to be like a little bit of swag about it, be non-negotiable. All right. So the purpose of the next slide is to kind of brag on yourself. So these are some properties, some of the properties I don't have in commission anymore. The KST property is off the table. So I got to update these, but these were all properties that were on, the first couple of pages of Airbnb, and they had a minimum of 5 positive reviews. All right. So this is me, giving myself swag, giving myself credit. Okay. So that's the purpose of this slide. Okay. Self-promotion. Purpose of this slide is to talk about, this is what you're already doing. So one of the things, and you just remind me, I got to send out a text to a gentleman who wants me to potentially work with him. In order for you to be able to do this, you got to know what your monthly rent rate is. If you don't know what that basis is, you can't plug it into the B&B IQ, and you can't have a point of comparison. All right. So this person's monthly rent rate times 12 means that they're making 14 grand, $14,400, $400 a year doing it traditional. This is based on 100% occupancy. This is based on a $39 average daily rate. This is based on them chasing tenants, them having to evict a tenant if it goes south. It's based on, being able to vet tenants properly. This is based on them knowing the right rate to use. This is based on them realizing they got to set some money aside if the property is damaged. This is based on them only getting a deep cleaning once a year. This is based on potential tenant issues, and this is based on them managing the tenant. What am I trying to do?
Yep, you're trying to get them to see the difference between what we're going to offer them, right, and what they'll be doing by themselves, and see that they actually have it better with us. Look at
Right.
all the rent checks, chasing tenants around for rent.
Yep.
They won't have to do that. Tenants are difficult to evict. They won't have to do that with us. Figuring out, the pricing, deep cleaning once a year. We clean the place all the time.
Yep.
All these things are these red flags that they have to deal with if they keep doing what they're doing. But
Right.
if they do what we're doing, it'd be a lot better. They'll see the bullet points in the list.
Amen. Pain point. Then we come over after we give them the pain point of them doing it the way they've been doing it. Their rent rate times 12 is $14,400 a year based on 100% occupancy. Now we slide over to us. Based on less than 100% occupancy, in some cases, this is probably a 50% occupancy rate. This is what they would be earning after we split the pie. So this is not before we split, this is after we split. So sometimes I don't even want it to be different. I don't even want it to be this high. Like, it would have been better for me if this, instead of it being 23,000, it would have been better for me if it was only 15,000.
Yes.
Because I don't want to, I want the fact that they're going to make more money to be like a pleasant surprise and not an expectation.
Yeah.
I literally want them to think that they're making the exact same amount of money, but they don't have the occupancy issues or all of the other challenges. So with us, we're going to give you the exact same rent rate, except, we're going to source all of the corporate tenants. Yeah, corporate tenants, people not from the area here on town for business. Yeah, we're going to figure out the maximum price to get. We're going to figure out, we're going to keep the property in top, sale ready condition, because we're in there multiple times a month, if not a week, deep cleaning. We're going to communicate with the guests 24/7. We're going to do all of the management. So you are doing it on a passive level. We're doing it on a semi-passive level. Sound good to you so far?
Sounds good. Semi-passive. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, these are all good points. Like, see, like we're answering their pain points. So we're actually showing them what pain points you'll have, and then we're answering, hey, we got a solution. Here's what it is.
Yep. So based on us splitting the profits, based on us splitting the upside, you're going to get your monthly rent rate plus some without any of this energy. And we're just going to keep doing what we're doing because we're already doing it for other clients. Like, this is something the ship is already, the train has already left the tracks. We're already moving with this. If we can assist you, we would love to, but we're not really tied to the outcome. All right, so I'm going to leave you with this. This is our performance guarantee. We perform or we work for free. If we don't make your prorated rent rate, that is the rent rate that you're going to normally receive after the property is rent ready, we're going to work for free. We don't make money unless you make money. That work for you? And you're trying to get them to talk to you. You're trying to get them to, it's like church. You know how the minister talk to you? He wants you to talk back. This is kind of what you're doing with the landlord.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Here's our management agreement. Here's our monthly income report agreement. So let's go through both of them together. So, Mr. Landlord, when we decide to actually join forces and collaborate, this is the agreement that you and I will be basically signing off on it. I'm just going to read for you the high level overview parts of it, but I'm sending this to you in an email so you can get into all of the details. Is that okay? Yep. Okay. Yes. Okay, Earl. Yep. All right. Here's our introduction. We're going to manage. I'm going to change this from vacational rentals. So I'm going to actually change this. We're going to manage your midterm rental through a number of different homestead booking websites. So you don't want to use vacation. You want to say midterm rentals. All right, here's a list of definitions I want you to go through at your leisures. These are the services that we are providing. In exchange for our management fee, here's what we're doing. If you need a photography, we're going to handle that. We're going to optimize the pricing on all of the websites. You don't need to worry about the pricing. You're going to purchase the linens, and then we're going to manage the linens. We're going to make sure that the housekeeping, all of the maintenance for the turnovers, that's on us. Okay. The host obligation. So your obligation is You provide the product, we provide the traffic. So as you're providing the product, we need the property maintained. We need to make sure the property is compliant with any legal or state regulation. This question about removal or lock away, we're gonna have all digital, or smart locks, so that's not gonna really be a big issue. Um, we need you to cooperate with us fully. If there's something that's going on, we just need to know about it so we can, properly manage guest expectations.
Yep.
In the beginning, for cleaning supplies, you're going to actually provide the cleaning supplies up front for the first 3 months. We will give you the list of what we need. And then after those 3 months, those cleaning supplies will be taken out of the profits from our bookings.
Yep.
All right. So this is a fixed contract. Again, this is performance based. If we're not making money, you're not making money. All right. So this is going to be our performance trial is going to be 90 days, 3 months. If you want to cancel at any point after that performance trial, we'll walk away. No love lost. This is a business transaction. But if your decision is to cancel it during the performance trial, we're just going to ask you to, kindly do, because we're going to be putting a tremendous amount of energy into making you money with this. And for that energy, we're just going to ask you to break the contract with $500. That's your breakaway fee. Things happen, maybe you have other plans for the property that involve family. That's, we're not here to turn your life upside down. People's plans change all the time, but we just want to be upfront with you. $500 is going to be our fee if you need to break out early. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
Okay. If you need to book the property for yourself or for your family at any point, and it affects the bookings of another client, we're going to be passing those fees back onto you, because all of the platforms that we work with do impose a fee if we don't honor a stay. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. All right. There's certain sales tax and there's certain municipal tax that are passed on to us as the principal. We're just going to take them out of the profits. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. All right. So we are also going to leverage our relationship. We're going to be putting a tremendous amount of work in up front. We're going to ask you to give us an initial deposit of $500 so we can start creating the marketing and getting the traffic going. All right. That money will be taken out of the profits that we are generating. So, whatever the profits is at first 30 days, at first 60 days, that $500 that you've given to us up front as a retainer is going to be taken out of the profits that we're supposed to be getting. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. All right. This is really for you to kind of read on your own. It talks about the rental proceeds limited to the rent. A lot of this language our attorney put together just to cover us. It really, in truth, doesn't really come up in our working agreement, but this is legal talk that our attorneys just want us to have moving forward. So I hope you can appreciate. I'm not an attorney, but this was attorney created. Extra charges if there is the owner cannot schedule an owner stay for a period that a guest is already scheduled for. I kind of talked about that already, but this clause kind of spells it out. It's your place. You can stay in your place, but if it conflicts with a guest, there's going to be some charges and some fees, and we just want to be upfront with you about that. Is that okay with you?
No, that's okay. Yep.
Okay. All right. So the property maintenance expense. So there is going to be some expenses to maintain this place. All right, again, the Wi-Fi, the utilities, that is the landlord who is going to be bringing that to the partnership. So you're bringing the product and we're bringing the traffic. We're bringing the customers, taking care of the marketing. We're making sure that the pricing is right. So that's our roles in this partnership. Does that make sense?
Yep, that's one.
Okay. All right, liability and other clause. Again, I could go through this line by line. I'm not going to. This is what our landlord, our attorneys put together for us. And you know, I pay them the money and they keep me protected. So I'm gonna ask again, and this is where we would basically sign off. This is where you would sign off. And these are a list of things that is not a part of our business collaboration. We are not going to be doing deep cleaning of the sofas and the carpets and furnitures. That's not what we do. That maybe need to be done. That would be something that we would want you to do before we start bringing traffic into the place. We're not organizing repairs or maintaining the property. Again, that's your part of the collaboration. Washing windows, cleaning up after pets, moving heavy furniture. Okay, that's not what we bring to the collaboration. Any questions on that?
No questions.
All right. All right. So the last thing or the last document that we're going to go over is how we will communicate every month. Now, we will make you a co-host so that you can see how the calendar is filling up. But in terms of the actual interaction with the guests, we handle that so it's not something that you even have to worry or think about. So this is a typical earnings statement for a client I have. This is for the month of May. So this person had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they had 9 stays. And in those 9 stays, they generated just over two grand. I believe this is when they first got started, because that number is not what it is now. That's kind of a low number. Out of that 2 grand, there's going to be expenses for our software, so it does our pricing. This particular client has a total of 8 listings. Our software charges us $20 to do this. This is the price lab, obviously, you know that.
Yep.
Okay. And again, the cleaning fees are paid up by the guests. So that's not coming out of our profits. That was $800 that came out of that. And so our management fee in this example, because you provided all the furnishing and everything, is only 15%. All right, so our profit from that was $174. Okay, not a lot of money, but it was the first month, so we're excited. We're excited. Okay, of that, you already paid us 500. You already paid us 1,000 up front, because of the 2 properties. So ultimately, you have a credit with this situation. You have a credit with us. All right. So ultimately, your payout for the first month would be $1163 based on this scenario. All right. So this is what our communication would look like on a monthly basis. A goal is to get it out to you by or before the 10th of every month. Any questions on the management agreement or the income report in our initial conversation?
Okay. So what was that split again? I see that with that profits was a little bit over, roughly over 1,100. What was the split again? Is it 15 and what's the split again?
Yeah, so this particular example probably would be the example that you want to lead with, because you don't want to give them the impression that you're only making 15%. But yeah. So as we get closer to I may have another sample statement that you can use.
Okay, so out of this, a sample was 15%. The month total revenue was like roughly over 2200, 2100. So it's
Yeah.
roughly over 2100. So I guess how would you just split that up? 15% will go to what, co-host, and then the other percentage will go to them. Let's break that down again. So I
Yeah.
can get
So
a better understanding.
so the percentage that you are agreeing to
Okay.
is going to be taken from this
That
monthly
number.
total from Airbnb
Okay.
minus the uh expenses for
Software
the
and
software minus the expenses for the cleaning.
okay, so okay, that 2100 is not. We got to subtract 800 from.
Right,
Okay, track
right,
800 and subtract whatever the software fee is,
right,
and then
right.
whatever that number is,
Yeah,
15% goes co-host, and then whatever percentage is split by split.
right.
It goes out separately. Okay.
So Cornell, I
Oh.
guess this is a big thing that I gotta tell you. All right. All of this money from Airbnb,
Mm-hmm.
you're hanging on to it for 30 days. It doesn't go straight to them. This is not like a co-host where it's a 50-50 split.
That's what I was about to ask. Okay, so it's
No,
not a
no, no, no.
50% every book. So
No.
okay,
You're getting all of that money and you're hanging on to it and you're only giving them back their portion after
that
you minus
percentage.
out the expenses.
Yep, yep. So you have to literally do that on your own. So at the end of 30 days, you have to go in to your account and then actually have to, I guess, Zell them their percentage.
That's what I do. Yep.
Okay. That makes sense.
And and so in order for me to do that properly, in
Yeah.
order for me not to mingle money, I
Mm,
actually have multiple Airbnb accounts.
mm,
So I have my primary Airbnb account that I use for our personal property.
mm-hmm.
And then I have a separate Airbnb account that I use when I co-host for the property at Delamain. And then
Oh,
I have
wow.
another account when I co-host for Stacy and Miles. And then I have a third account when I co-host for the property at Warwick. So the nice thing about it is when I just want to look at the data for that property, that relationship only, I don't have to mix and mingle the data.
Okay, okay. So yeah, that I didn't know you could create a brand new Airbnb account for yourself, and then you got to hook a totally different bank account too. You got to
Yeah,
open a
yeah.
whole different bank account, which makes it neater.
It,
And
it
then,
makes it makes it neat. Sometimes like I have a business account through Bank of America
mhm.
where I have the one bank, but I have 5 different accounts.
Okay, so that's how you can do it. You just put that, I guess that property that you're doing, split on that you're doing coasting on, put it in a separate account, a part of
Yeah,
your business account.
right. So it makes
Okay,
it it,
okay.
it it makes it a lot cleaner.
Yeah, cleaner. Yeah, because you want it like that. So at the end of 30 days, you know exactly, okay, this is what you earned. Let me go ahead and give them their 70% or whatever percent you have to Zelle, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, literally, that is the smartest way of doing it, managing it.
Mhm. That's what it is. And you saying on the agreement, I gotta go back through the agreement, like they're covering the linens. So there, if the place is not furnished, the percentage will be higher for us because we gotta furnish the place.
Right.
But if it's furnished, most of the time it's not furnished. Most of the time they want you to furnish
Most of the
it.
time it's most of the time it's not going to be furnished, and they're trading their peace of mind just for a higher percentage because for them, you know, you're the professional.
Yeah,
Why what you know why am I learning something that you already know? Let me just give you a percentage, and you bring your expertise, and I'm bringing the property. And I think
yeah.
if you use that language the way I was going back and forth with you, it
Mhm.
simplifies the whole transaction. What are we bringing to the table? I'm bringing the traffic. I'm bringing the clients. You're
Yeah,
bringing the product.
yeah. That
So if
makes
you're
sense. Yeah.
bringing the product, I'm not paying no Wi-Fi. I'm not paying the RG, no, I'm not paying utilities, I'm not
Mhm,
paying the rent. That's
mhm.
the product.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, in the initial setup, because I'm trying to make your life easy, I may furnish it. I will set up all the locks. My percentage will be higher. And if there's any, because it's my furnishings and my locks, when I leave, it leaves.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I had a question that we left off with yesterday about like the rent and stuff. For example, the rent's $2,300, and for that month you make roughly over 2,100. Does it really matter what you make, regardless? Okay, you make roughly over 2,100. The rent is 2,300. You still get your split. They get their split. It's their responsibility to regardless of whatever the rent is, we get our split regardless, right?
Yeah, we got our split. Yeah, we're always gonna get paid. Like in the beginning, we're
long as
asking them.
long as we have clientele coming in,
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter what the rent is because they're going to cover it every month anyway.
right,
But they just want to get that split
right.
to that's you know what I mean. So if we're not, I'm not looking at it as okay, whatever the rent is, we got to pay it.
No,
Okay, the rental price, it doesn't really matter with this model that we're doing because they're going to cover it with their percentage. And if
that's right.
whatever that percentage is for that month, if it's lower than a rent rate amount is, that's their responsibility to cover it.
Yes, and listen,
So
because it's
that's
their
how.
property, because they already own the property, the
Mhm.
rent rate is typically higher than the mortgage.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
don't need
yeah.
to tell us that, but we already know that because we're
Uh-huh.
business people. As
Uh-huh.
long as, even if they're, what we made that month is in between the mortgage and the rent they want,
Mhm.
they're happy.
Yeah. Mhm.
They're happy. Now, from our perspective, we can make 100 that month on a bad month, or we can make 1,000 that month.
Mhm.
All right. Obviously, we would prefer the 1,000, a pure profit. But in the low season, I'll take 100 any day.
Mhm.
If it's all profit.
Yeah, true. It was all profit. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that makes sense. I'm just trying to look at it from a landlord's point of perspective, like they're benefiting by not having to deal with a headache tenant and things like that. When it comes, of course, they want their money for rent. Whatever they list the property for, they want that money for rent. But that's not really the case when it comes to what we're doing. So it's like, regardless if we make less that month, if we make less money that month than the rent actually is, they still benefit. Or do they look at it that way? Or they look at it like, oh, well, we made less than 2,300 this month. My split is going to be less than that. They're not looking at it that way, are they?
So here's the
So here's
thing.
the thing.
We're telling them for the first 90 days, we have a performance, quota. After the 90 days, if they're happy with your service, they're going to keep you. If
Mhm.
they're not happy with your service, they're going to part company. So all we're going to do is focus on getting the results for the 90 days. So say the
Okay.
first 30 days in, we don't make the rent rate, but we make the mortgage rate. Were we successful? I think we were.
Mhm. Yeah,
Say
because
we do
we
the same.
don't, it's funny, we're not going to know what the mortgage rate is. It's always lower than what they're renting the place out for. But,
Absolutely.
because they want to make some, they want to have some overflow, like you said, overtime.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
their rent might be 2,300, but their mortgage might only be 18, 17,
Right.
19.
Right.
So it's like we wouldn't know that, but you know.
I mean, and the other interesting thing is this: the whole goal is, if they can have a property that is not sitting vacant
Mhm.
and is cash flowing enough that there is, I want to say it in a way that makes the most sense. So we had a situation. This is totally unrelated to the presentation but we had a situation yesterday with someone at Stacy and Miles' place. This woman uh has only been in the place 72 hours. But she's turned the whole place upside down. I got one person that's checked out early. I got two more people that have complained. And guess what? She's a local. Somehow she got through the safety net. She's in there. She has kids. She has a service animal who's sick. I may have alluded to it a little bit on our training call, but we literally had one of the guests on the phone with us yesterday saying she's locked in the bathroom and the kids won't stop crying. I'm on the phone with Airbnb. Airbnb is in red alert and tell me if she's locked in the bathroom, the kids are crying. Is she hurting the kids? I don't know. I'm not at the property. Please call 911 immediately. So we get over there, police, they want to just kind of get all the facts. They go in, de-escalate, and the whole point of me sharing this with you is afterwards the police came out and they were just saying how unfortunate it is that the laws have given so much power back to the tenants. The landlord don't even have. He said it's what we're glad that it didn't come to, because you asked the person if they could bring it down. This is a drama-free place of professionals. Can they be professional? Can they be drama-free? We're glad that you said that, as opposed to telling them that they had to get out. Because legally, we can't even put them out anymore because of squatter rights.
Yeah.
And he's telling me all of this because he said this. He said imagine you leave your place vacant for 30 days. You're not in town and you don't have a property manager coming in, and someone sets up shop in your place. If they're there for 2 weeks or more, when you discover that they're in your place now because of squatter rights, you got to go through the legal system to get them out. So here's the big play. Here's the mindset of a landlord. If I can make my mortgage and I ain't got to deal with no squatters, I'm winning.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, because I'm like, on the landlord's perspective, I wonder if they're looking at it like, oh, well, if with this 15 or 77%, I'm not going to make my money for rent.
That's the
But
opposite.
they're not, well, they're thinking like that, they're not going to want to work with this Colisting model. But if they're thinking the way we're talking about, they're going to want to work, because they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm making money every month without having to deal with any headaches. Whatever the percentage is, I'm going to be able to use to pay my mortgage. But and if they can't, if the percentage is less than the rent that they're asking for, then they have to make it up. They don't mind making it up. Just trying to think about it from their point of perspective. Like, why would they want to do this type of co-listing thing?
So there's so many elements that we solve so many problems. So they're getting their mortgage paid down. They're building equity in the property. They can now take that equity and purchase another property. They're not dealing with any of the headaches of the tenants. And by the way, it's expensive and it's costly. It is expensive and it's time consuming to have to evict somebody.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
That is the real pain point.
Yeah, I understand those pain points. I was going to ask you too, like, when it comes to, I know that you were going over Zillow a few times before in the past. Now, when you're looking for a property on Zillow, how do you reach out to them about this co-listing thing? I know we're using a different template than we usually use, but it's co-listing. Do you reach out to them through Zillow, through the messenger saying, hey, look, interested in this property is what I want to propose to you, or how do you actually reach out to them? Or do you reach out to them first, trying to do the arbitrage method, and then go into the co-listing method?
I'm gonna answer that by saying what's worked for me. Is that fair?
Works for you. Whatever works for you.
Can I just be transparent and tell you what's been working for me?
Yeah,
Relationships I've developed through the RIA group.
yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
It's even better when you got a relationship with somebody too, because
Yeah.
then they understand it.
I mean, I've never publicly said that the 10 days don't work, because I believe they do work. But I
Mhm.
think you just have to put out a lot of, you got to put out a lot of you know, energy to get the right thing in your funnel. Because
Mhm.
again, your concerns is like, McCray, why would people consider this? And my response to you is that not everybody's going to.
Mhm.
If they've never gone through any pain, they're not going to consider this valuable. But as soon as they've gone through a little pain in the rental game, they'll be like, wait a minute, there's another way of doing this.
Makes sense.
So,
Okay.
so
Mhm.
there's a sweet spot. There's on one side, they're so new, they've not experienced any pain. And the other side is they're so old, the idea of them doing something different is painful. Like, I won't
Yeah.
learn nothing new. I know what I know.
Mhm.
We want that sweet spot in the middle.
Makes sense.
They're not new in the game, but they're not so old in the game where they're not willing to try something different.
Yeah. Like that's
Like,
the spot to me.
yeah, so I'm getting ready to sign an agreement with this gentleman to take a property live September 1, and
Okay.
altogether, and if I perform altogether, he has about 32 units in his portfolio.
Oh yeah. See, that's a good relationship because he has even more.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now
Tremendous.
understand, this model works whether it's an apartment or whether it's a single family house with rooms.
Hmm.
It works no matter what.
Okay, so you're saying this works with rooms in the whole house? Let's look.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. 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 This is definitely something different, new. That I just gotta continue to learn about too. And that this is cool. I know I was going to ask you also. I was going to ask you about like when it comes to, have you ever had a property where you had to have parking where it's assigned parking assigned by numbers and they got visitor spots? Have you ever had a property like that?
I've not, but I've been to Airbnbs that work that way.
Yeah, some of it is kind of crazy because people are parking in the wrong spot and parking. That can be kind of kind of crazy too with the parking situation. And
Yeah.
have you ever like with a landlord? Have you ever what I was gonna say? Have you ever had to get like a license? Some places in some areas that we look in requires you to get a license or requires you to get a permit and stuff like that. Have you ever had to get a license with a landlord and ask them to get a license with their information? And
It hasn't happened yet, but uh in my mind, I see it happening because I plan on expanding
yeah,
um into all three time zones.
yeah, that's the
I
thing.
want
And I'm
East
like,
Coast, I want Central, I want Pacific, I want every time zone. So
yeah,
I
for
do
sure.
envision that being necessary.
Yeah, and if that being necessary, they have to actually fill out the information. Like they have to fill out the information. We have to actually like pay their type of fees and everything. Because I have a gentleman, I have an owner that I talked to previously. He has a bunch of properties over here, um, in a closer proximity where I'm at. And the only thing about over here in Baltimore, in Baltimore County, they have regulations where you have to get a license. So you got to get a license. You got to fill out a rental application. They have to come and inspect the property and all this type of stuff to use it as a short-term rental. But with that situation, what we're doing, we're just going to have to get the property owner to fill out that information, and we pay for the fees.
Yep.
That's what it's looking like. So, I never did that before, but that could be a situation that could work for them. If they like doing what we're doing, we keep the place clean. We're not gonna be headaches. So, You know, that could be a good, good opportunity. I just never did it before.
Yeah. So industry standard, like if I'm doing traditional landlording, and these are good numbers to know. If I'm doing traditional landlording and I say I'm living full time in Hawaii and I'm keeping my property in New York, um, I'm paying a property manager 10% of the rent that they're collecting.
Mhm.
So if they're collecting $1,000, they're making $100.
Mhm.
So it would make sense that we're doing better than a traditional property manager.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you say that you have did you say you're gonna have a live call or
Yeah. Now that we kind of are where we are, I'm actually going to reach out to this gentleman right now
your
and
phone?
see if we can talk shop. And my goal for the call is to set him up for a presentation.
Yeah, okay,
So
okay.
so I'm going to be gathering some information from him, and just sit on mute is the
Yeah, I'm gonna
point,
do that.
and kind of hear where this all goes.
All right, is he hopping on Zoom or is it a phone call?
No, it's going to be a phone call. All right. So I'm just going to get my B&B ready to report. All right, let me give him a buzz. Let me give him a buzz. And recent. Okay, here we go. Hey, good afternoon. Hi, hey, what's going on? Earl from the RIA Group. How are you? Good. Is this a good time to catch a quick chat with you, or are you in the middle of something? Okay, great, man. Great. Wow. So we both know Leon, huh? Oh my goodness, yes, Scott. Now, now have you? Yes, I've heard of him as well. Now, have you been as blessed to work with Scott on any of his deals? Wow. Yeah. How many properties? How many properties you still have? Okay. Yeah, that's Joe LaBarbara. Our Joe, because Joe, buddy, he has a team. His wholesaling team is, yeah. No, Joe's team calls me on my property, and I'm in the 19th ward. I'm like, Joe, leave me alone, buddy. Oh, he's good. He's really good. Wow. Okay. So, so, so what this is in Winton Village, right? What's, if you don't mind, can I Google it on Zillow? What's the address? Okay. Unlimited. Is it closer to Irondequoit?
It's the city, Georgia City, but it's in Winton Village neighborhood.
Okay, got it.
Like probably a couple months ago, it was still like number 2 in the country.
No, Winton is a great for so what are you getting right now for that rental? What's your rent rate? What do you mean?
I live upstairs and I just got it back and I've had to fix it up. I took a hell of a hit on that house.
Okay,
And so I lost a lot of money on that house.
got it.
So I was,
What's your intention? What do you intend to charge for rent?
well, I go by what the market's giving. And considering my taxes went up and my insurance went up, and I go on the market. I've been doing this well, I should have been on further. I've been doing this since I was 23 years old. But
Yeah, no, I get it.
everything else, man, it just took a toll on me.
No, I get it. How many baths and bedrooms?
That one had a 2-bedroom and 1 bath.
Gotcha.
There's
Gotcha.
about 90% done.
Okay.
So I'm looking to rent it. I'm hoping to look at rent it ASAP, but and it's like, but I got a little bit more. I'm working on 3 houses right now, so to be honest with you.
Good for you, man.
Not really, it's killing me. Contractors suck.
Listen, I just got off the phone with another buddy of mine. And he was running around checking his contractors. But he said, Earl, I got news for you. The best way of making sure your contractors don't screw you over is make sure they're a partner on the deal. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He said, yeah, no, he is skin in the deal. I'm like, man, that makes so he's doing the work. You're handling all of the other logistical things. And you guys, yeah. And he says, Earl, this is my second deal I've done it with. The first deal went through smoothly. I've always had issues with contractors. This is the first time it's been drama free. I'm like, wow, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because in some future universe, I'm gonna get permission from my wife to do a flip, but it's just not right now. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, so I know, like, based on what the county pays, the county's paying what, like $500 a room. So if you got 2 bedrooms, you're at least looking at being able to rent that out for at least $1,000. So we're probably closer to 1,200, 1,500
You mean for the apartment?
for the apartment.
Yeah, for that 2-bedroom, the range is anywhere from $1,300 to $1,500.
Yeah, no.
Check you. You understand? I'm a type A personality.
Yep.
I'm Irish Indian. I'm a lefty. I'm an INTJ. I'm just giving you all this shit. You could talk to Scott. You could talk to Bob Napier. You could talk to Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't sugarcoat shit.
I love it.
My thing is, you give me your advice or your input, I will analyze it, and then I make the final decision.
Yeah.
You question me after that, it's your ass. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you. I understand that, because here's the thing: my insurance on that house went from $1,100 to $2,000 a year.
Wow, what happened?
Insurance, just insurance. And here's the thing: you probably know this. If you don't, you should know this. A lot of times now, with what do you think recently, Rochester, New York, or the mayor or governor, whatever, came out and says she's going after the insurance companies because they are, going after landlords because they're raising the premiums on landlords because of tenants. And I'm thinking, well, no shit, excuse my language, bitch. You're the one that caused this shit in the first place.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. There's no logical sense whatsoever. You give the tenants all the rights, and you give, and don't even get me going. And it's like, wait a minute, it's my house, my way, or the fucking highway.
Yeah, no.
you shouldn't be stepping in. Back when I was young, and I'll be 58 in November. I didn't know it, until later in my life, but we were evicted. I was a young kid. You
Right.
had 3 days to get that money
Yeah. Yeah. No.
out in a week. Now you go back then, I would say 70s. You go back and see how many evictions we had then.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
I guarantee you there wasn't many.
that's exactly the problem, in my opinion, with our local government. Is
Give your opinion. I'm open.
yeah, no. I
Free America.
yeah, I think there's something grossly wrong with the fact that you're giving more rights to, in some cases. I was just talking to a buddy about squatters.
Slightly different. I had that conversation too. Slightly different than tenants.
Yeah, like literally, you can have a property that you're trying to, create a, rehab, right? And then be away for 30, 40 days, come back. Someone's there, no legal right whatsoever. You gotta take them to court. You gotta evict them. What universe is that?
I'm not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not.
Yeah. Well, you sound a little bit like my dad. Now, here's my dad was old school. When I was 18, my dad, he was a Rochester products guy. You from Rochester? Okay.
Raised in Wayne County, but I lived in Rochester for about 28 years for my daughters. Okay, but I worked at Xerox
Okay.
almost 2 years ago. So yeah.
All right. So you'll appreciate this. So he gets an early I said Rochester products. I meant to say Eastman Kodak. So he was one of those first guys that had an opportunity to get an early buyout from Kodak. And so he went for it. All right. What'd you say?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey bro, I'm sorry about that. But it is what it is. And so like when he left landlording, he had about 20, 23, 24 properties. And he says, son, if you and your brother want this, I will set you guys up. Look,
Right.
we didn't want it. We had seen my dad have to freaking, this is the point I was trying to make. My dad would fucking take the door off the hinges. And the at the time that the county, the city, hey, they backed him up.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, this guy's 60 days, 90 days in the rear. What am I gonna do? I'm still got a mortgage to make.
Yeah.
And you can't.
They don't realize. Well, back then they realized, but we pay our taxes and insurance and contractors and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was pretty funky. It was pretty funky.
Funky, an understatement.
Yeah. So
Do you remember the Canes?
I don't.
The Kane, Kane Realty? You never heard of them? They were doing a lot of shady stuff, and the state came in and went after them.
No, I meant.
Oh man, he used to do so much stuff like you're talking about.
Okay.
He used to do so much stuff like that. You don't pay your rent. You didn't have months. You had days.
Well, listen, honestly, that's how it should be.
You're not going to offend me any.
Yeah.
The way I talk, that's just the way I am. You're not going to offend me.
Yeah.
Just let me know that.
That's how it should be. So at any rate, I mean, so let me just kind of, just cut to the point. I'm of the opinion, and Leon told you right, that midterm rentals are the absolutely best way of in protecting an investment.
Right. I'm new to it, so
Yeah.
I asked him who you recommend, and your name sounds familiar, but I'm so bad at names. It's crazy.
No worries. Yeah. And the reason I say that they're the best way, it literally, it gives you the best of both worlds, where in a traditional tenant thing, relationship, you want something that is somewhat passive.
Right.
You don't want to have to, you probably have a W-2. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, let's go be honest, semi-passive then. And you want something that it can build some equity, so whatever your estate planning ideas are, hopefully God gives us the opportunity to generate some stuff and pass that stuff down to whoever has been good to us in our life. So that being said, the midterms give you that opportunity of getting good people who are not from the who are not they're not living in Rochester. So because they don't live in Rochester, they're here temporarily on an assignment. What that assignment can be maybe they're here working for Gannett Nuclear Power Company, or maybe they're here working for the U of R or RIT, whatever.
I'll give you another answer. It's like, because what I'm trying to do is, I'm not sure, like my house that I live in, because I live upstairs. That's that 2-bedroom I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So, I know the range is between 13 and 15. I try to be, I was a fair landlord.
Yep.
And here's the rule, the cruel rule thing is, I got a big heart. Fuck that. Because all that does is bite you in the ass.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I like to try to help people, give people chances.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that ends up taking it right into your own boot shoe.
Oh yeah. No, I unfortunately I bought those lessons instead of borrowing them from my father. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought them too. Yeah, real good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I'm saying, because I got another one that, I have a house out in Wayne County that I'm flipping. I'm actually here now, but I have some pretty decent people that work. It just, a lot of times you can't get them to stay consistent. Time is money.
Yeah. No,
I'm a small timer, so I can't go around and hiring all these people that are, it's a tough.
yeah, of course. Yep. And if you're like most of us, either you got really good friends that can, well, not even friends, you got really good connections and access to private lenders, or you're bootstrapping it.
Well, I got a great private lender.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty flexible, but it's like, I don't give out names. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that.
It's a no in that profession unless you know each other.
Absolutely. So yeah, so I will kind of be very transparent. There are some really interesting pitfalls to the midterm rental game.
Yeah.
Some pitfalls.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest pitfall would be we're trying to be semi-passive as much as that is, but not having the right team in place that can go in and do, we call them a turnover, which is basically your cleanup group.
Yep.
You need some folks that will go in, because here's the thing: you can have the best pictures. People think that people are going to book your place just based on the pictures. That's the furthest from the truth. They're doing it based on reviews. Reviews.
You haven't even done it.
Well, okay. Well, I'll cross that. I'm just trying to give you the pitfalls. So if you have crappy reviews because like people overdo it when they do the decorations, they overdo it when they do the furnishers, and so a good cleaning team can only do a thorough job if they don't have to move like a gazillion different things.
Right.
And so
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. I've worked with people that have overdone it, and then it takes forever for the cleaner to get in and do what they got to do. And then now the cleaner wants more money. Now that's eating into your margins. So that's a pitfall. Got to have a good cleaner team, and you got to plan with the end in mind. Keep it as simple as possible. The other thing is you got to understand the rate. So you're going to have somebody, and this is the thing to think about, is the shorter a stay, the more they're willing to pay. So for somebody who's doing a traditional rental, that's the lowest money you're going to make for a daily rate. If you're doing a short term, you can make a lot more. If you're going to do a midterm, you're going to actually be a little bit in the middle between a short term and a traditional rental. So if someone is in Rochester for 90 days or for 6 months, better believe they don't want to spend top dollar.
Right.
So you got to have the price point. And sometimes people price it way higher than they should. And sometimes they're trying to learn it. They price it lower than they should, but then they spend a bunch of money on the front end to make it look like the worst mistake you can make, my friend, is saying, hey, I need it to look the way the place me and my wife went to visit.
Yeah.
But
That's not gonna go well.
yeah, but if you don't know any different, that's kind of what you default to.
Right.
No, that's not necessarily what you want to do.
No.
Yeah. And the I would say the final pitfall is I think we wanna help. We want to be good spirited, good natured people, but you got to treat your business different from your ministry.
Yes.
I'm a churchgoer. I'm a believing that you're a man of faith too.
I'm working on it. It's funny you say that because I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I believe in God, family, and country, and yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a sinner.
Yeah. No, we all are. So I say that because you'll get people that want to move into your midterm, and they don't fit any of the criteria that I talked about.
Right.
They're not a professional on assignment. They're not from out of town.
I'm gonna say no.
And you got to be able to say no.
I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, and I don't think I do either. But sometimes when I find out someone's lied to me, when they, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So, but no, so here's the thing, man. So see, Leon pointed you in the right direction. Now, did Leon tell you that I have two companies? So one company, I actually teach people that have the bandwidth how to do this, day in and day out. In my other company, I actually work with landlords that don't have the bandwidth, and I actually just manage their property for them.
Okay, well, I'll give you my. I'm with it. You can't make money without spending money.
Mhm.
Plain and simple. Is you can't get knowledge without having some kind of a mentor.
Right.
I mean, I can call up Scott, and he helps me out every way he can. He'll point me to somebody or whatever.
Right.
But I was talking to Leon. And Leon and I, we get along, but politically, we are totally opposite.
Right. I got you.
I'm like, really, Leon? I'm like, wow. And I said, he just laughs. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I get Leon. Yeah, he's been on my podcast a couple of times. So he's an interesting guy. I thought he was actually back in Houston. I didn't realize he was still in Rochester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I think he's back in Rochester, but the idea is I was in shock. I'm like, really? You did real estate, you started the real estate investment club, and you're telling me you are politically a Democrat? Something's wrong.
Yeah, no, hey, I get the pragmatism. I got a lot of my buddies were like, McCray, you are as Republican as, how are you supporting Harris? I said, yeah, this is true. I am as Republican but no, I'm,
Support Harris.
Yeah.
I support Biden.
Yeah.
I support Trump and anybody like him.
yeah,
I support a Ross Perot.
Yeah.
I believe everybody should be held accountable for their own actions. I don't care all the way up to the president of the United States, all the way down to a little clerk in Rochester, which I've done that.
yeah.
And the public works for me. I don't work for the public.
We agree, brother. We agree.
Okay.
We agree.
But you don't think you vote not with your heart, but your mind.
You got it.
You vote with your mind, which
Yep.
you vote with your wallet.
Yep.
You don't vote for your
Yeah.
color, race, sex, and all that other stuff.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
So and I have discussions every single day. I mean, there's people that just start talking to me, and some people read shirts that I have, and and it's like I say, go buy them.
Yep.
And I've had people, verbally attack me, and I said, well, you better check yourself.
Yeah. Well, here's the blessing, and I got a lot of buddies at the meetup, and we agree, man. Hey, we don't have to align politically to make money. So yeah, let's make some money.
Yeah. But here's the thing with that.
Yeah.
You make the money. You make more money on the Democrat side, or you make more money on the Republican side.
No, friend, you misunderstand me. I get that. And a lot of my investments are in red states for that reason.
Yes, well, that's what I was thinking about, out of state investment.
Yeah.
I'm not rich by any means, but I'm unfortunately a workaholic.
Yeah, no, we get it. So listen, let me.
I like to hook up with you or whatever. Or what.
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Do you want me to kind of run the numbers on your property at Culver Road to see if it would even be feasible for us to do a collaboration?
Oh, the one I probably see, here's the thing, that's a primary residence. So I live upstairs. So I was thinking about, and here's a gist. I know you're busy. And the idea is I have a 2-bedroom upstairs. I'm probably going to make the attic into an office.
Okay.
For the IRS. Okay.
Yep.
And not that I like the IRS either, but anyways. So I have a 2-bedroom downstairs, but it only has a shower downstairs.
Yep.
And it's pretty much nearly done, even though I have to redo some stuff because of contractors.
Okay.
And yeah, I was thinking of like maybe, I want some consistency, but the idea is, how do I rent to professionals, like you said, doctors, nurses, traveling nurses, or whatever that is, and
Well, I don't even know if it would be a fit for me and you to work together. That's why I'm suggesting that I run some numbers, because if it would be a fit, I'm your guy. I would be able to bring that traffic. I would be able to bring those clients, and it could potentially be beautiful, but I don't know yet. So I would have to actually do an analysis. Is that something that you would want us to do?
Yeah, you can do that. But, hey, I'm pretty flexible with my personality. Well,
Okay.
you might think not, but I'm business first. I learned the hard way. But I also have another property that I'm rehabbing, and that's a different situation. I use my IRA on that one.
Let me ask this, because I have a gentleman that I'm working with right now. He has a total of 37 units. And
no, I got that.
And our agreement was like, let's just do one together. Let's do one. And if it makes sense after the one, we can talk about the other 36. So let's just focus on one unit right now. How's that sound?
Okay.
Okay. Do me a favor. How do I spell your last name?
Lliard.
Okay. And
Randy.
Okay. And Randy, give me your email.
It's R Hilliard, HILLIARD 66 @gmail.
Okay. All right. And let me just make sure
Yep.
that I'm not misunderstanding what we've talked about so far. So the property that we're talking about is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath.
No shower. I mean, it's a shower, no bath.
Okay, okay, got it. So it's a half bath, I guess.
No, it's a full bath. It's just a shower. It's not.
Okay,
Yeah,
I forget how it's cold. I'm not whatever. And it's at 1188 Covert Road.
yes.
Okay, all right. And that property would be available, was it September 1? Well,
Yeah, that's what I'm pushing for.
okay, okay. And the current rents that you can get on it is roughly, was it 1,300? Did I get that right?
It's a range between 13 and 15. I mean, I have an agent that I deal with, but it's like,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. How about this? Let me crunch some numbers, and would this time, like, I don't know,
Call me anytime. And I'll just say, hey, can't talk now, or yes, we can hook up, or yes, whatever.
okay.
I can't do any better than that because I'm out in Clyde right now getting some material in my truck and I'm heading back to Rochester.
No. So I'm glad you're saying that. I would be looking at a time where you could be in front of your computer, so I could do a Zoom meeting sharing out with you my analysis.
Okay.
So would that be something like early morning or late evening?
Well, what time is early morning to you? Because
I get up at 4 a.m., but I'm not expecting us to talk.
are you going to the gym? Because I sure need to.
Yeah, man. I get my gym in. Yeah.
Need help with that too.
Yeah. So now we can Lou,
Personal trainer. I can't remember his last name. He was personal trainer.
get out. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I need it, man. I need it.
So I used to be 195 to 205. Now I'm like 230 and getting older, and I don't like it.
Yeah, man. It sounds like the evolution of a lot of us once we get into our busy lifestyles.
We eat and run, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
but yeah, we
yeah.
can do that. I mean, early morning to me is like I'm usually up by and able to talk by 7 a.m.
Yeah, we could do like a 7 a.m. Maybe I could maybe do a Wednesday or Friday.
Um, Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Yeah, but you're not tomorrow. Are you? You're not talking tomorrow, are you?
Um, I'm just thinking about Thursday would not work at all. Look, I could potentially do it tomorrow. Let me just
You tell me tomorrow. Friday might be a little easier.
let's let's go Friday. Let's go Friday.
Friday morning.
Yeah, 7 a.m. All right.
I think I got my Zoom activated.
Yeah, and I'll send you a Zoom link to this email address, and we'll be able to talk more about how the numbers look, for us to collaborate. And then if it sounds good, if it feels good, go to sleep on it, whatever, we can talk about, the terms. Because I do this for all of my clients. Hey, I work for free if you're not making money after the first 90 days.
Well, nobody works for free. There's nothing's for free. It's just a matter of it's a good return for everybody.
You got it.
I call it a win-win situation.
You got it. You got it. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, how old are you? I say, what are you, 42?
I'm actually, bro, I'm a sparse 51.
Oh, sparse.
Yes,
I like that word. Don't worry, when you made it past 50.
sir.
Everything gets better then.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay, Randy. Nice talking, buddy.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Bubba. Yes. Yeah.
Here's another place. I already know what you said, but do it anyway. 635 Melville Street.
Okay. That's another one of your flips.
Well, I'm debating on that. Depends on the cost and what's going on. It's a hot neighborhood.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right.
I'll talk to you Friday.
All right. Friday. All right. Talk. Yep. Bye-bye. Interesting, interesting, interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so well, the reason he's so interesting is he's got his hands on so many things. I,
Oh,
I
he
doubt
does.
I doubt if he can be committed to any one thing.
Right. So is this the guy? How many properties does this guy have?
So he has, for the sake of argument, he has one. And then he has a bunch of projects that he's trying to get finished.
Mm,
And in order to get those projects finished, he's got to push his contractors.
mhm.
And in pushing the contractors, he's running around like his head cut off. So in the context of what I know is he doesn't want to learn how to do this, even though that's
Yeah.
how he positioned himself. So he positioned himself like, oh, you're the guy that would teach me. Bro, you ain't trying to learn nothing.
Nah,
Yeah.
which is good.
However, if I give you enough pain, um, let me get my split and let me manage it.
Mm-hmm. But see, this home is 4 bedroom, 2 bath, or is
No, so here's this. So he's house hacking. So he has a duplex. He's living upstairs, and he wants to rent out the bottom for
okay,
1,300 to 1,500.
okay, okay. So are you gonna take over that bottom half?
That would be the play.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So as he was talking, you see, I was running. I've already run the numbers. I'll make money.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'll make money. I've already done the numbers real time while he was talking. He didn't know that. So but the longer you present like, oh, let me do an analysis, the more they think that you're really like laboring.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what's so cool about the software, right? Because the software makes you present like you have put a lot of analysis in, and actually the only thing you put in there was the
Was
price
the
point
address?
and the address. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That
So
okay.
yeah. So but the thing is, and I'm interested, what's your takeaway? So if you were in my situation and you were interacting with a prospect, what are some of the things that you kind of heard me talk about, and maybe some things you didn't hear me talk about?
Well, I heard you talking about like the like pain points and stuff. Of what he was talking about the property, what he was dealing with before, and what you were saying that okay, look, we're going to have our business professionals in there. That's in there for business. You're not going to have to deal with the whole rowdy tenants or people being destroying your place, or had to deal with stuff that you dealt with before. You was talking about a lot of that on the phone with them, and then letting him just go off and figure out what was he dealing with before. He was just, and when you talk to people like that, they'll let you know exactly what they dealt with before in the past and what they're looking for, so you can hear all that pain points. And
Yeah,
like you said, let me run the numbers. Let's just see if it's a good fit for you. And he was like, oh, okay, you were trying to meet up with him in order to do it. And he said, let's just meet up, some other time, whatever, tomorrow. It depends on you. But they gave the projection of like, I'm running the numbers. I know what I'm talking about, even though we're just putting in the address and we're putting in, the room, the bathroom counts, the room counts. We know what we're talking about, so we give that off. So you were giving that off on the phone with them. So it's like, oh, okay, it's a no-brainer. Like, it's a win-win situation. He did say win-win. As long as it's a win-win situation, it's a go. So
yeah,
those are definitely the things that I heard on the phone. And he kept, he was rambling on, which you want them to talk like that because you get to know what they're struggling with. And you can say, hey, look, this is what I could present it with you with. This is what I could do for you. Bam, and that's how you take care of that. So, that's what I heard. It was a lot of information that he was saying on the phone, and a lot of things he was talking about too that he was tired of dealing with. So when it comes to this guy, has he dealt with previous bad tenants and things like that?
It
Definitely,
seems like
definitely all-
it definitely seems like that.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like his experience is one where he's lost. He said he lost money like 4 or 5 times. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. So I want you. I'm screen sharing. I want you to see what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I see. I see.
So
That you're doing.
18. So it says 18 on the right. I wanted to say 18 on the left. I don't want it to say 28. I want
Too
him to
much,
see
right?
the same rent rates with less wear and tear on this property. So what
Yeah.
I'm doing is I just keep raising my management fee. So I went from 18 to
So
now
to try 25.
I'm on 21. Okay. Now I'm going to go to 25. Oh, okay.
It didn't
Now
change at all.
I'm going to go. It didn't. Let me hit save. Now I'm going to go to 27.
Still a big deal. Still a wide gap.
That's okay. I'm going to go to 31.
Should be changing, right? Save changes. It's like it's not changing much, huh?
Yeah, that's not what I expect. Let me go to 50. That's something's not right. Okay. All right. Finally, Lord, finally, I'm below 18. All right. Let me go back to 40. So, like, I'm trying to stress, I'm trying to sell him, not on him making more money, but I'm trying to sell him on the idea he's going to be making the same amount of money without having
Dealing with.
somebody in his place 100% of the time.
So that's why you want both of the numbers to kind of be close to each other. Like what the green, where it says on the left, it says 20,000, it says 18,000. Is that a good level? Like close?
For the way I'm selling it, yes,
Okay.
because I'm not selling it from the standpoint that he's going to double his rent rates. Because if he has to double his rent rates, then I got to really work my ass off to have a high occupancy.
Yeah. So
But
that's
what
why you
I'm
want to do is
saying,
that long-term, short-term number kind of close.
yeah,
Like,
what I'm saying is, bro, I'm gonna give you the same rent rates, and instead of you having 100% occupancy, you're only gonna have
you have 40.
61% here.
Okay.
You're only gonna need a 70% rent rate occupancy right here. So I would actually prefer the occupancy lower.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I want it lower. I want it lower because
That's too much of a difference.
yeah, let me go back to 30% here.
Yeah, you want the occupancy 40% or lower, right? Pretty much.
Exactly.
Well, that's kind of big gap. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
That's 30 right there. So let me give that 25 here. So yeah, you're seeing what I'm presenting.
15.
That's crazy. I'm not going lower than 20. So okay, so this is so be 50 percentile historically means that you're like in a A, B, C, D neighborhood. 50% means that 50% of the properties are better than yours, 50% of the properties are not as good as yours.
Okay. Like
Most of the people that we're working with are going to be on the 75 percentile.
okay.
So
5%.
so again, I mean,
So you got the
so I'm gonna leave it at 30% just because I like how I like a 70-30% split.
yep, 70 goes to them 30%. So yep, 30% management fees. Yep.
Yeah. So but yeah, so we'll hook up 7 a.m. on a Friday, and I'll either have planted a seed for another client for September. So far, I have two clients already, or I'll actually have a contract in hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
but
That's good. That's good.
bro,
Um,
it's not super hard. This is actually much easier than what we learned with Jim.
mhm. Yeah, it seemed like it is definitely. Yeah, it's quite simple. You know, definitely. You know, something to look forward to doing. To getting it going. And the meetup groups that you sent me, I'm looking at that as well. So that's a group that you can get on and actually
So
connect with
so so
investors.
so let me explain the difference between coach's philosophy and my philosophy.
Hmm.
Coach is of the opinion that you can leverage everything with social media.
Hmm.
And I'm of the opinion that people do business with you if they know of you or they know you and they like and they respect you.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, he don't know who I am, but he knows of me through somebody he knows,
Hmm.
likes, and respects.
Yeah,
So,
relationships.
so instantly, I'm working smarter, not harder, by just building relationships. Now,
Yeah.
building relationships. Now, what coach is talking about will work, but people don't really want to mess with you unless you like have a track record that they can
Hmm.
look at online and be like, oh, I went to your webpage. I see all your properties, blah, blah,
Hmm.
blah, blah. Coach has the money to do that. Most of us are just starting out. We don't have those resources yet.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. I like this about relationships because you build a good relationship, you can actually do this. You know,
Bro,
and then people can refer
me
you to other people, all of that.
like Cornell, me and him talk shit. We cut the shit for about 30 minutes about
Yeah.
nothing. About
Hmm.
really nothing.
Hmm.
But the only reason that we did all that, or I did all that, is I was just trying to build rapport.
But build rapport, yep. I was saying that in my mind. Build rapport.
Yeah,
Building rapport is good because you get the person to open up, you get them comfortable talking about, and that's good. Building rapport is good.
yeah, yeah. But
Yep,
anyway,
yep.
no, man. So I'm glad we recorded this. I think this will be a good training video for the other members of the Superhost community because my thing is that all of you guys, now that you know how to do Airbnb with rental arbitrage, you guys are
Hmm.
gonna make more and have less skin in the game doing the co-listing model.
Hmm.
Totally
Yeah,
believe it.
yeah,
Totally believe it.
definitely. I'm,
Okay.
I'm I'm definitely gonna get into those meetup groups, man, and start trying to not trying to start connecting and networking with people in those meetup groups because that's another way to find landlords as well, property owners as well, in those meetup groups.
Yep.
I heard you say that you're close by getting ready to get W-2.
Yeah.
Um, how's that? It's so hard to get rid of a W-2 sometime, isn't it? It's you're trying to get away from your W-2, and it's just the conditioning, and you gotta really fight to get away from your W-2.
Actually, I don't have any of those hangups. The reason that I won't be done with my W-2 to 2026 is that my long-term plan requires that I acquire a minimum of 3 properties. And when you acquire properties, um, it the loan officers like you more when you have a W-2.
Yeah, they do. Yep, they do.
Yes.
They like you more
Yeah,
when you have.
yeah. If I wasn't set on acquiring property, um, I wouldn't even be, even tripping because
You're right.
the passion for what I do in my W-2, I get that by working with the church, and working with the young people at church.
Okay.
And so yeah, so one of our, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, we're gonna actually have to kick it to Sunday because I'm taking 20 of my the young people from my church out on a
Mhm.
church retreat. We're gonna be out in the woods, log cabins, under the stars, campfires, And the goal is, building relationship with self, uh, building relationship with God, and building relationship with other believers.
Mhm.
That's the stuff that I can't teach in school is the stuff that I get to teach in church.
Okay.
And that's my energy, man. That's my passion. That's what gets me excited. Like, and working with you guys, that gets me excited. Sometimes I can do 4 or 5 training calls, coaching calls, and back to back, and I'm not tired at all because like when you guys are winning, I feel like I'm winning.
Yeah, good feeling.
Feel great, man. I feel
Good,
great,
good.
man. Listen, nothing is gonna make me feel better and feel greater, man. Is if down the journey of time when Cornell, is getting his first, $1 million home. Man, he still says, man, yeah, McCray, man, yeah, he was one of my early dudes, man. He got me to
Yeah.
the level where I could take it, you know, I ain't gonna take you to the promised land, but if I could just put you in position to get there, bro, man, that's a blessing for me, man.
Absolutely, amen. Because that's the goal, man. The goal is to be able to have us like just to get out of the grind, and it does feel different now. I know I don't remember a few weeks ago you were talking about you have more choices when you have you said when you have your money working for you
Yeah.
versus you just working for every penny like we do at our W-2. You just have more choices. You have more options.
Yeah.
Like so it feels good to have options. When you have semi-income coming in that you're not working for, it's very different. And I think that's how wealthy people look at money a lot different than people that don't have a lot of people
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the system.
yeah.
Because
So,
they'll make a couple thousand, they'll make thousands of dollars in a day versus somebody working at a job and they got to deal
bro,
with
no. Tens of thousands in a day.
200,000 in a day. Because
Yeah.
they have so many assets that's working. What did Myron Golden say? Myron Golden said,
Money
more
baby.
assets, yeah, money babies, but he said income follows assets.
Income
So
always
if you
follows
have
us.
more assets, a person that's working a job, a 9 to 5 punch of the clock, can't catch up with you.
Not,
You have
not
so many assets that's working for you. You're getting money around the clock all the time, and that's the whole goal. That's man, that's what people that don't have any wealth, they don't understand it. They think working 70 hours a week and tiring yourself out, and that's not going to do it. What are you going to do when you get older? And
no, it's another world. It's another world, man. When you can have proof to your lineage, man, that abundance is your birthright, and you're not just talking it, you're walking it.
yeah,
They have tangible evidence.
yeah,
Daddy said, Uncle said,
mm-hmm.
Cuzzo said, and we didn't believe it, but he believed it, and
Uh-huh.
he's manifested it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It manifests I
Yep,
mean, it has to start somewhere, man. It has to start somewhere.
yep.
Even when they come to your family, somewhere in your bloodline, somebody has to do something different. You don't want to work for 50 years like your
Speaking of
parents did, your parents' friends. It
speaking of
has to start
Myron,
somewhere.
speaking of Myron Golden, my
Mhm.
most favorite quote from him is this: "You may not come from a wealthy family, but a wealthy family can come from you."
Yeah, yeah. It has to come from you,
Drop
and
the mic.
it has to come from you, man. Oh
Drop the
man,
mic.
I think have you met him actually on a personal basis already, Myron?
I have not met him, but
Okay.
I will plant this seed in my hierarchy of people to actually get in collaborations with. Myron Golden was way up here.
Yeah.
Um, he's no longer way up there anymore. My
Hmm.
my my, he's been replaced by the brother in Hawaii. He's the
Oh
gentleman I
yeah.
want to collaborate with. In fact, I'm gonna tell you next July, bro. I'm gonna be in your ear. You gotta come to Hawaii with me and OC. This mastermind, millionaire mastermind blueprint, uh, 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 convention was all of it, all of it.
Shoo.
The mindset, the relationships, some of the ways that, you know, the brain is moving is a direct result of being around people who are already at that next level. Like,
Yeah.
again, Coach Jim, you know, that dude will always be near to me because he pulled out of me like something that I didn't see. But like that relationship had a ceiling, and I'm ready to go to the next level. Like, so I bring that up. All the many of the people I was interacting at or with at the convention already have surpassed Coach.
Wow.
They're above him. They're above him.
Wow.
And you know they're above him, or I know they're above him, because Coach wasn't freely sharing information with me. He would give me bits, pieces, breadcrumbs here and there. He would never be like an open book. These guys are just the opposite. They're like, whoa, you made the commitment to come up to Hawaii. That means you're serious about going to the next level. Bro, ask away. What do you want?
Wow.
And that's how I learned that once you acquire your first property, using like a residential, like, you know, a regular home, a regular conventional loan, and you like convert it to like a Airbnb or a rental, what you want to do is you want to get it out of your name. But before you get it out of now you want to get it out of your name because you want to put it in a trust. You want to put it in a trust because, you know, if anything were to happen to dad or happen to bro or happen to son, the courts don't get involved with probate because the person who's on the trust as a beneficiary, no lawyers are involved. You're doing it up front. Free game. That's free game. Now, but before you put it in a trust and before you get it out of your name, you want to convert it from a residential loan to a commercial loan. And the reason that you want to convert it to a commercial loan is that commercial loans come with commercial insurance. So that if somebody, like we have the Airbnb $3 million policy, that's cool and everything. But it's nothing like having your own insurance too. So if you have guests in there and an act of God occurs, you cover. Or if you don't have guests in there, because Airbnb is only going to cover you if there's a guest in there.
Yes. Yep.
But here's the other thing, right? When you take things out of your name and you get them, you go from a residential to a commercial product, your debt to income changes. So your debt to income ratios change. So you now look better if you want to leverage yourself and get a franchise or get another rental property. Like, this is like crazy game. Like, oh my God. Crazy game.
Yeah, because it's out of your personal name. Yeah.
Yeah, but so the way Coach was trying to get me, he wanted me to buy in to the next level to give me the game. Later, Coach. Later. Yeah, you got me the first year. You ain't get me a year two. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. You got
So
another call to get on? Sir?
So here's the my call to action for you. When you schedule the next coaching call with me, I want you to have that presentation deck ready with all of your information in it. And I want you to present it to me real time as if I'm the landlord.
Makes sense.
And I'm going to try to throw questions at you to stump you.
Makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Let's
All
get
right,
it.
brother.
Talk to you
Good.
later, bro. Bye-bye.
All right, talk to you later. All right.